Me lo que me la vez buja karo no. ते मैं दानो ना वो फोटो ने मोकलवानो छे ने हाँ ये मैं भी नहीं करूँगी पक्की 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 पक्की
I've been muted. अफजल सलाम सगला अपने around 5 minutes के अंदर start करिए. Just waiting for everybody to join in. In 5 minutes we'll start. Shukran. सेशन शुरू करिए शेख। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अफजलुस सलाम जनाब आमिर साहिब, Mr. Kai Khalid Metheg, Bhai Sabs, other dignitaries present, Bhayo and Behno. Ahlan wa sahlan. Keeping in mind the teaching of our beloved Aka Mullah, His Holiness Dr. Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin, we present to you Perils of Plastic, 400 years of woe. On behalf of the Dawoodi Bohras of Bahrain, I, Rashida, congratulate everyone. You have taken a baby step closer to saving our Mother Earth from the perils of plastic. Your presence is a testimony to that. We can all interact with each other from the comforts of our homes. A time so advanced, right? So advanced, yet we continuously destruct, poison, burn our planet. Do we have a spare one? Where will we go after we consume this one? Our children, do they deserve this toxic mess? One such ravaging menace is that of plastic pollution. In case of single-use plastic, just mere minutes of usage, then it is registered as litter. What then? Plastic, it is designed to be durable, to stick around for generations to come. 400 years. That is about the time for an average plastic item to break down. 400 years. It is said, no matter how far you've gone down the wrong road, it's never too late to turn back. Let's learn today how to rectify our errors, take a baby step, make a small effort to make our world a better place. Our speaker today is here to help us with that step. Based in Bahrain since 2007, he is involved in various projects related to material resource management in the region, appointed Island Innovation Ambassador for the Kingdom of Bahrain, founder of Waste, an educator and a speaker of repute on environmental awareness, supporter of environmental groups and initiatives like Rooftop Bahrain, Hidden Treasure Garden Deraz Project, and many more. To help us stop the catastrophic damage we cause to Mother Nature, join me in welcoming Mr. Kai Khalid Metheg, Perils of Plastic, 400 Years of Woe, Mr. Kai Khalid Metheg.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Very good. So, first of all, thank you very much to giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Mother Nature. And as you just mentioned, I'm just coming from the RAS project, where as well today is not only Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all mothers and to the greatest mother we have, which is Mother Earth. And by coincidence today as well as International Forest Day, so we planted some trees in our Diras garden area, and we hope they will be nurtured and connect to Mother Earth and then grow in the next few months and years to come. So with further ado, I would like to then share the presentation and start to presenting, and I appreciate your time that you will be engaged with us here to learn and exchange more about the knowledge and the danger and benefits and the disadvantages obviously of plastic, because it doesn't have only disadvantages. It was developed for a reason, but we will discover it throughout the presentation. So let me just start the presentation or share the screen. I think like this, and then I go like this. 1 second. Where is the full screen? Normally, when I press F5, usually it should start. 1 second. Aywa. So now you can see. Everybody can see the screen?
Yes, we can, Mr. Kai.
Okay, very good. So first, again, thank you very much. And waste actually is a kind of a wordplay between waste in general and AI. So we need to use in future maybe as well the artificial intelligence and the blockchain in order to get rid of some of the waste. In general, I call the presentation plastic a blessing or a curse because, as I mentioned, it was actually developed for a good reason, but then it maybe turned around and it became from the blessing to a curse. So we have to decide what is what at the end. So in general, this is a short introduction. What is plastic in general? So plastic is a material consisting of any wide range of synthetic or semi-synthetic organic compounds that are malleable and can be molded into solid objects. You might be irritated because organic compounds, but literally plastic is made actually from the natural resource of oil. Any kind of plastic actually. So plastic are typically organic polymers of high molecular mass and often contain other substances. So we later on discover some different kind of plastics because, as we know, plastic has got sometimes soft surface, sometimes hard. We have the cases, the case cover, the protection cover for computers, laptops and these things, TVs, hard case, and we have soft, which is foils or foam. So this is all actually plastic, and the term plastic is derived from the Greek word plastikos, which means actually fit for molding. So it means we can give it in any kind of shape because at the end it's kind of a liquid or heated element and then pressed into shapes. So it can be even extruded like the foam protection foam, or the films, very flat tubes, what we have for the water ducting and all this kind of stuff, bottles and boxes and much more. So as mentioned, there is different kind of plastic, and different kind of plastic has as well the different kind of capability of being recyclable. So we have as well the PETE or PET, which is quite common and known, and you will find usually on each element, or supposed to be on each element, on the bottom or on the side or on the top, you find these 3 arrows with the respective number. So the number 1 is polyethylene terephthalate, as I said, PET or PETE. And this we find in general all the plastic bottles where we have got the juices, the soft drinks, the water. This is general PET or PETE. And they are actually quite good recyclable. Then we have got number 2, which is HDPE, which is high density polyethylene. It's also recyclable, and usually the not clear containers where we have got the shampoo, the cleaning material at home, soap or the detergents, they are all in general made from high density polyethylene, and you feel as well that the thickness of these bottles or containers is bigger than the one from the thin bottles which are easily squeezable, whereas HDPE is not so easy to squeeze. Then we have got polyvinyl chloride. This is PVC, number 3. And this is recyclable with limits, and we find it often in kind of pipes and kids' toys as well, cable covers and piping, ducting, and even some window frames are made from PVC to give it a bit very strong actually as a material. Then we have got the low density polyethylene. LDPE, which is the number 4, and this is as well recyclable with limits. And you know, the bread wrapping or the wrapping around the water bottles or the juice bottles are usually very thin layer of foil, which is low density polyethylene. Then we have got polypropylene, which is number 5, PP. And this is in general not recyclable because this is very hard plastic. It's also a combined substance. But as you know, you have got maybe the plastic cutlery, the strong ones, or the reusable cups and these kind of stuff, which are not clear. They are usually very strong and very heavy and not breakable. And then you have got even sometimes in the supermarket when you buy the big bags of rice, 5 kg of rice, 5 kg of flour or flakes or something like this. Also, these are made normally from polypropylene. And this you might as well see sometimes as well in your fabric, in your clothes. There is sometimes a mixture to make this fabric or the cloth more sustainable or more durable, not really sustainable. Then number 6 is polystyrene or styrofoam, PS, the shortcut, and this is also not really recyclable, only with very, very, very special technology. And we know these kind of foam plates and the foam boxes to protect the TV when you buy some stuff or whatever. These are all the styrofoam and polystyrene, which is not really recyclable. And same applies actually for the CD covers or the non-clear cups or the coffee cup lids, for example. And then they have number 7 is miscellaneous plastics, which are a mixed, shortcut is MP. And there's polycarbonate, acrylic, you might know from the different kind of advertising. Then you have got fiberglass, which you might know as well from the, let's say, car industry, Formula 1, for example. They're using a lot of shapes. It's with fiberglass mask and mats and with resin, so it's also a combined or composite product. And then you have got even the hangers, what you have got when you go somewhere with your security card. These are mainly made as well from nylon, for example. So the number 7 is really a diversified mixture of different kind of plastics. So these are the general worldwide known 7 different types of plastic. So let's talk about the danger of plastic, and there is some investigation done in the past. So the problem is that actually toxins or plastic fibers are leached from the plastic bottles to the water. And the problem is that usually water or any product should be stored cold and dark. And literally what happened here, specifically in the Middle East, we have very hot summer, and a lot of times the water is just stored outside, directly exposed to the sunlight and as well to the heat. So which is really not really a good thing. If you take water, keep it always cold and away from the heat or from the sunlight, because elsewise there will be, because a kind of chemical process which is applied to any kind of product in the world. If you put anything outside with sunlight and heat, it will start breaking down and leaching, and either into microfiber or microplastic. And that's why as well the statistic was done in 2018, where they checked on different kind of bottled water. And unfortunately, a lot of these contain or leach actually microfiber into the water, which is not really helpful. Okay, so let's go to the next page. 1 second. Yeah, in September 2018, there was another investigation done. Also, the World Health Organization is re-investigation on this one, and actually in 93% of the bottles, there were microplastics or microfiber found in the water. So they did it all around the world in 19 locations in 9 countries and 11 different kind of brands. So the best obviously is to avoid water in plastic bottles, and if you use it, make sure they were stored cold and dark and not exposed to the sunlight and to the heat. So here's some figures of what they actually found, which is quite scary. But literally the problem is that a lot of times we don't see the microplastic or we don't see the microfiber. So whatever people don't see, really they will not care. And I mean, we need to understand that a lot of things which we actually don't see, and now we have got actually the best sample with the COVID virus, we don't see it actually, but it's very threatening to the world. And similar applies actually to microplastic and microfiber in bottles or in general in the food chain. So we need to really be careful when we deal with plastic. So plastic is definitely useful. This is the thing, we're using it in the kind of bottles, we're using it in the shampoo, it's very practical for the piping, it's very practical for keeping food safe from outside pollution. Then we know as well our beloved plastic containers, the foam to protect goods when we are buying it. And as well, obviously, the music industry gives us joy. So the CDs or the cover, obviously, for protection, all made from different and various types of plastic. So definitely, plastic is useful, but as well, plastic is everywhere. There's actually no way that we can live anymore without any piece of plastic, because plastic, if you just have a look around yourself, in your living room, in your bathroom, in your bedroom, anywhere, or you go to the supermarket, in each corridor you will find anything made from plastic. So it's everywhere, and of course it had a purpose, it's durable, because that's why it was actually developed, to have a certain durability as well for the content, to protect the content in the long way. But as already mentioned, literally the durability of plastic is longer than the content. So actually at the end, is it a blessing? As I said, it's very useful even after we use it. We have got the plastic collection, we have got the different kind of containers, we have got the construction scrap, we have got the food wrapping. So all this, at the end, as I said, it's made from oil. The main content of plastic is oil, so it's useful, it has a value. The only thing right now, the humanity need to develop a way how to get back the original points or the original ingredients of the plastic in order to reuse it. And I was just in contact with another company from Germany who are developing, or they developed already one technology where they really break down all kind of plastics in the original compartments to actually rebuild plastic. So to create another circular economy, which is actually the aim and can only be the aim in order to avoid the plastic pollution worldwide. So even the plastic waste obviously is everywhere, and still the plastic waste is very durable. Almost every single piece of plastic made ever in history is still in one or another form on the planet. So because only right now a fraction, which is an average worldwide, maybe 5 to 7% is recycled. This is the only thing what is done up to now, which means 95 or 93% are still somehow, somewhere. And this is really a danger, and actually it's a curse to humanity, because if we don't find the solution for this one, it will not be a nice way in the future. So here some facts. Actually, 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic has been generated across the world since the 1950s, when it was really industrial developed and produced. Up to now, these are figures from actually 2018. So we are talking maybe now about 9 billion, 9.5 billion, and the numbers actually are annually increasing. And due to the fact of last year, what happened with COVID, with the certain restrictions, the single-use cutlery and the single-use mask and all this kind of stuff is increased. So we are more likely to have more and more. Here, the figure is mentioned, 23% has been recycled. You need to always cross-check the figures because, for example, in Germany, we have a very high recycling quota, but recycling in Germany is defined as well waste to energy, which means if they're burning the waste, then they say, okay, this is part of the recycling process, which is actually not true. Recycling means you have, or you're creating with a process, secondary raw material, which then can be reused to produce new items, new products. So waste to energy is not recycling. This is always a misconception and a misleading wording, which is used actually worldwide. It's stated as well, 8 million metric tons of plastic enters Earth's oceans annually, which is again a factor from 2018. We reach now, by 2020, the figure was 10 million every year. So 10 million metric tons of plastic is entering every year currently the ocean, which is the water, which is a natural resource of all living in the world. And the biggest part of all this one is actually packing, which is the biggest, worst single-use item, because it's just there to protect any kind of items. Once we unpack it, then this is lost. So this is actually, again, it has value if it's separated, collected, and then later on either to be used for recycling, proper recycling, or for waste to energy, which is one of a second last option, because before it ends to the landfill, which is obviously the worst one, which pollutes then the groundwater and eventually the land. So there was a mention earlier, how long until it's gone? And here again, the decomposition times of common natural marine debris, the wording decomposition is wrong. What Ms. Rashida said is totally correct. She said it breaks down. There is no material except organic material which will decompose. Okay, so any kind of other items, anorganic items like a plastic bottle, like the holders, the cups, or the plastic bags, they will not decompose. They will just break down into small, almost invisible microplastics. So it still means the weight of a plastic bottle after 450 years is still on the planet, but broken down into almost invisible microplastic pieces. So be aware that anything unnatural, anything plastic will never decompose. It will never vanish or will become connected or not harmful to the environment. Plastic will remain harmful for the environment and hazardous. Just because we don't see it, it doesn't mean that it's gone or became harmless. Here are some of the peak figures of what was actually found in an annual collection. This was, I think, in Canada. A lot of waste or plastic waste is not really in our mind, which is obviously the food wrappers, you know. Sometimes you have a bonbon, you remove the paper, which is HDPE, LDPE, which is low density polyethylene, which is packed for, I don't know, the sweets, the bonbons, and these kind of stuff, and it's just thrown away. But it has a big impact. The smaller the pieces are, the worse are actually the impact on the environment. Then obviously the plastic bottles, then the caps and the lids, which are from the teacups. And you will not believe, once in 25th of December, I was cycling back from Hamala Beach Resort at night at 2 o'clock in the morning on the Janabia Highway, then Budaya Highway. I was so shocked how many of the paper laminated, plastic laminated paper cups for tea and coffee are found on the road. Really, it was shocking. So these kind of stuff you will find as well a lot. Then obviously plastic bags, plastic cups, plates and cutlery, which are purely single-use items and really, really not necessary. And then the straws and the stirrers for tea and coffee and these things. So all these items we can easily avoid. You can use a reusable water bottle, juice bottle. You can use a reusable cotton bag or the jute bags. You actually don't need caps and lids on your coffee. You actually don't need straws. There are, if you really require, there are stainless steel straws, which are very much easy to clean and at least comfortable. And honestly, plastic cups and plates and cutlery we don't need at all, because we have nice stainless steel cups, we have nice porcelain cups, we have nice plates, and we have nice stainless steel cutlery, which just can be cleaned, and that's it. So actually almost all of these can be easily avoided if you just think a little bit about the consequences, because out of sight is in general out of mind, but there is nothing like throwing away. It will be never away. It will be just relocated. And what happened here in Bahrain, it will be relocated from any place to Aska landfill, which is actually as well an environmental threat, not about only the nature, but as well towards human. So plastic, as said, is not only bad, because obviously a lot of jobs, these are some figures from Europe, and some jobs are pending on the industry. Then, of course, a lot of companies, they have a big turnover. Then, of course, there's a multiplier effect related to the GDP of a country itself. Then, of course, the technology improvement. If you see how plastic was in the past and how it's now, how diversified. So there is a lot of things as well which came up. And in Europe, they had 6.6 million tons of plastic waste was recycled. We always look about Europe, Germany as a hype for recycling and clean state and clean government, clean country and these things. But honestly, the thing is, Germany, for example, is the biggest plastic waste producer in Europe. And they are number 5 or 4 in the world when it comes to plastic waste production. So within China in 2019 closing their borders, also Germany was really forced into developing different kind of technologies into order to cope up with your own waste. Because shipping waste from A to B to different kind of countries, to Africa, Asia, South America, or wherever else in the world, it will not eliminate the waste. So countries, step by step, become more and more responsible for dealing with their own waste. And this reflects as well on the people. So you are at the end responsible for your own waste, for your own production, for whatever you let come into your life. So here I want to get some engagement with the audience. I have here 4 facts worldwide about the different kind of waste. So I would like please just throw some numbers, some ideas.
Mr. Kai, unfortunately, we have missed those numbers. Your voice didn't come through when you were talking about the last slide. Can you tell us about that slide, please?
Which one?
This one, the one with the numbers, the 2.1 billion tons, 1.3
Yes.
billion.
That's now where the interaction with the audience is there. So the audience should tell me which kind of waste they think is which number.
Yeah, audience, please talk to Mr. Kai. Do it through the chat, so Mr. Kai can see and it can be monitored.
Yes, please.
please send a chat message, whichever number you think is right. I mean,
Yeah,
is
what kind of
associated with what kind of plastic waste.
Yes, please.
The 2.1 billion tons should be household waste, I think.
Okay. What else? 1.3 billion tons and 1.1 billion and 50 million tons. Any more ideas? So let me check.
1.3 is cutlery waste. Kitchen waste, rather.
Okay. So what about the 50 million and the 1.1 billion tons?
Fif- 1.1 billion should be industrial waste.
Okay. So there was what saying 50 million is easy recyclable stuff like PET. Oh,
Yep.
unfortunately not. But okay, I will give you now the answer. I will also away from the. Now I have one. Okay, the first one is in general domestic house waste. Okay, so in average, even in Bahrain, we have every person produces roughly 3 kg of waste, domestic house waste every day, in general. The 1.3 billion is our food waste. Actually, we have roughly the value is, I think, $1 trillion every year we're wasting on food waste. This contains as well the effort of planting the seeds, watering, harvesting, logistics, preparation, and serving it to the table. And imagine 1.3 billion tons of food waste. This amount is actually sufficient, so no one on the entire planet would die for hunger. So you need to imagine how much food as well you are wasting at home. You know, and there is a lot of shops in Europe or throughout the world when food comes near or gets near the expire date or expiration date as per the label, they throw it because they are not allowed somehow by law to sell it again and this kind of stuff. But literally all this has value. Then you have got this kind of ugly food where the people don't like the shape of a tomato and they will not eat it or they will not buy it, they will throw it because it looks ugly, which is actually ridiculous. So this is a big, big amount, 1.3 billion tons of food waste worldwide every year. Then 1.1 billion tons is a construction waste. There is so much construction waste, which is actually ridiculous. And imagine this amount, how much additional building, housing, shelter you could build if we don't throw these kind of construction waste. And here I'm talking about the reinforcement, the wood, the mineral waste, stone, tiles, all this one, which is, by the way, non-toxic. So this 1.1 billion tons is non-toxic and the 1.3 billion tons as well, non-toxic. This could be always and everywhere easily segregated and then used for some other purpose rather than mixing it in the landfills, which is happening a lot of times in different parts of the world. And then the latest one is the 50 million tons of e-waste. E-waste will become more and more in the future, and it's already increasing drastically because everybody has at least 1 or 2 computers, 1 or 2 mobiles, and whatever. So this is a big, big value because e-waste actually has the biggest value of all waste. Because what you will find in the e-waste, you will find gold, cobalt, silver, all very important minerals, which are actually normally mined from somewhere else in the world, most likely Africa and China. But for example, what Japan is doing, they have a circular economy for e-waste, and e-waste itself has a big, big value for them. We had one person here in a seminar in Summit. He was from Japan, and he was asking just 3 simple questions. When you mine for these kind of stuff, You will not know how much you get, you will not know exactly where to find it, and you will not know exactly how long it will take. So once you go into the e-waste system, which is as well contains a lot of plastic, obviously, you will know exactly how much of what kind of mineral to find, where to find it, and how long it will take to get it out. In Japan, they calculated the minerals they get from the e-waste is 70 times cheaper than the original waste, which are from mines in Africa or South America. So again, we're talking about a very sustainable circular economy, which is as well cheaper than the original. So now for the Bahrain audience, we have the same pictures, but obviously different figures. And I would like to ask the Bahrain audience to give me the figures for Bahrain.
Everybody can come back on the chat with the figures and we will transmit it to Mr. Kai, and Mr. Kai also is seeing it himself.
Yes, please. So, anyone knows about the figures for Bahrain? Domestic house waste, food waste, construction waste, or e-waste? Okay, 400 tons per day for the food waste. Okay, that's quite a lot. 300 tons food waste. Somebody else? Okay. What about the domestic house waste? 800,000. Okay, per year. Yeah. What about the e-waste on the construction waste? Yes, very smart calculation. Very accurate, very accurate. Good, good, good. Okay, so e-waste 100,000. Okay. I will go through this. And the first calculation was quite okay when it came to the domestic house waste, roughly 1.5 million tons. I mentioned earlier, roughly 2.5, 3 kg per person per day, which we talk about 1.6 million people. So we end up roughly 1.5 million tons of domestic house waste every year. The food waste is approximately 220,000 tons. So it's quite a lot. And again, I'm saying this would be sufficient to have for each and everyone surplus of food here in Bahrain. You know, if you think about how much you will eat per day. So if you have 220,000 tons, so still it's a nice meal for everyone per day at least. Construction waste, approximately 140,000 tons. And this is the amount, when we do the calculation, that you actually can build 2 to 3 high-rise buildings every year free of charge. So this goes to the people who are in the construction industry. And these are all samples where we can really save money, save time, save energy, save material, and become more and more environmental friendly, rather than having this all mixed and then thrown to the wet landfill. And as well, we have roughly 18,000 tons of e-waste every year. This, again, a figure from 2018. So most likely now we're reaching by 20,000 or 21,000. So we can usually assume every year a rough increase of maybe 5 to 10%. So now, what are our requirements actually, which are the most important things we need to consider from our side? And actually, everything starts with us as a human being. So the first thing, you did already the first step, you attended this seminar or this session to exchange these kind of different information and knowledge, and the education and the knowledge and the awareness, and we call it capacity building. This is the most important for each and everyone. You cannot call the government and the facilities to be there. The first thing is you, because even though the government laws are there and the facilities are there, if the people don't understand why they have to do what, then the other two becomes very useless. It's just a waste of money, which is already unfortunately happening here in Bahrain. really, I'm sorry to say this one, but there's so much money spent on certain facilities, but the people are not complying to the sorting, the different kind of segregated collection. So really the knowledge and the awareness and the education, and education means all ages, from the kindergarten till the grandparents, from the grandchild to the grandparents, the parents, the adults, the younger generation, teenager, mid-age, old age, everybody need to be educated and need to have the awareness, because it doesn't make sense if one part of the population is complying and only one person actually can spoil the work of 1,000 people. Same like one drop of water can spoil at least 1 million liters of water. So that's why the education belongs to everyone. A lot of people say, oh, we need to teach the kids in the school. Yes, but we need to teach as well the adults, the parents, the ministers, the people who are in charge of rules and regulations. If they are not aware, then of course what you are doing is good, but it will not have an impact, or might get even destroyed by other people. The second part is obviously, as mentioned earlier, rules and regulations. Rules and regulations must be in place, they must be enforced, and there must be punishment on the one hand for people who don't comply, but same time there must be incentives for the people who comply. So there need to be some encouragement if you comply to it, not only to have obviously a nice, pure environment, clean environment, but as well to make them even the ambassadors of environment to comply, to spread the positive words. And they have, for example, the happy police in Dubai. And what is a happy police in Dubai? They will just stop people randomly on the road, and usually the people will get shocked. Okay, I did not do anything wrong. But what they are doing, they honor the people who are complying, who are wearing the safety belt, who don't wear using the mobile, who using the indicator in the right way and driving within the speed limit. And they give them incentives, they give them a voucher, which they can then later on retrieve if they renew the car license. So they get a deduction of, I don't know, 200 dirham, 20 BD or 25 BD or something like this. So this, what the people will talk about. The people will tell, oh, listen, I got a voucher from the police. They will not talk, oh, I got another ticket of speeding 50 BD or 100 BD. This you will not tell your friends. But you will tell your friends when you did something good and get some incentives from the government or from the police even. So that's why rules and regulations, as well, punishment and incentives must be implemented. And they must be implemented strictly, not only by written law, but they must be enforced by controlling. Because even the recycling bins or the 3-compartment collection bins all around the different kind of malls, if you look inside, you will find a big mess because they are not controlled. And uncontrolled or non-controlled collection makes as well not really sense, because the people will not learn, out of sight, in the bin, out of mind, and nobody can catch the culprit. So which will be a big issue. Then, of course, last but not least, and also very important, yep, what happened? Why it's going back? Oh, sorry. Is the technology. You need to have the appropriate technology in order to facilitate the separated, collected items. If the facility is not there, as well, it will be very difficult in order to have this called circular economy. And I put here some samples, which is, for example, one container, which is for the collection of oil. It's designed in Germany, has a durability of 30 years, double wall and these kind of things. Why the right technology is mandatory? If you collect here the cooking oil, and then you put it on the truck in the normal tons, and the truck has an accident, and then the oil spill all over, goes in the sewage system, in the soil, and these things. Everyone who drives the car has a car insurance, not because we want to use it, but in case of emergency, it's there for us. And that's why, for example, cooking oil collection container need to be very secure, because the damage oil spill will cause in the environment is so much more expensive than to invest in appropriate containers or facilities to collect this cooking oil, for example. Then you have here the recycling center, which is obviously a bigger plant where all the things are appropriate recycled. So each kind of different kind of material, cardboard, even composting, food waste, plastic, aluminium, containers, steel, all this has value. And on the right side of the picture, you see, for example, a waste to energy plant, which is one existing currently in Germany. But this plant is even located near a residential area. Why? Because it's still possible. 20% of the plant is for burning the waste to create energy, to supply it to different kind of household. And 80% of the plant is for air filtration. So there is no actually damaging emission coming out from the chimney of this plant. So the right technology will ease as well the problems. And that's why, coming back to the awareness and education, only if the people know about the safety of this waste to energy plant, they can be in favor of this one, because this is one solution for existing waste. For the non-existing waste, we have to deal with it in a different way and how to approach it. So now I want to show you a video. This is actually a human experiment, what actually we humans are doing to our environment and to Mother Nature. I hope you can see the video now. I will just play it, and please let me know if you can see it or cannot see it.
Yeah, we can see.
Let's see.
We can see.
Which is very nice. I must admit.
Okay, let me just stop the presentation. I will just play the video from my... let me just go, like, 1 second. Let me just go in the folder here. Let's open this video. Just 1 second. You can see?
It's not started yet.
I'm in this flat, which is very nice.
Can you see the video?
I must admit, just
No.
coming here, I was a little bit apprehensive. Lovely.
We can hear it, we cannot see it.
I have no idea what's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm in this flat, which
If you
is
can go back to your presentation, that time it was coming better. It was clear,
Yeah.
basically.
I'm in this.
But you saw the video and the presentation?
Yes, in the presentation, we could see the graph starting.
There's a little
Yeah, no, the graph started again, but this was only the sound.
blanket.
Because,
I have no idea what's
Oh,
going to
then the video was not seen there too.
yeah, that's what I meant. So then maybe this is not working, but okay, I will give you a short description, and maybe in the future you can have a look at this one. So actually the video is about that a person,
Mr. Kai,
yeah,
one of our members will play the video for you.
again?
One of our members will play the video for you.
Ah, okay, then, yeah, okay, no problem then, okay.
Yeah.
I will stop sharing for the moment.
Yes.
Want to go, yeah, okay. So I stopped sharing, right?
Yeah, you stop sharing it.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I stop now.
Mohammed, can you share the video, please?
Let me out, let me out! I'm in this flat, which is very nice. I must admit, just coming here, I was a little bit apprehensive. Lovely blanket. I have no idea what's going to happen. So I have woken up and there is a lot less food. When you've had your food like limited, all you can do is think about food. This is a bit more like a prison cell. We've literally moved from like food being rationed to very simple living. It's only when you have these things taken away you actually realise what it feels like. I am apprehensive about what's going to happen tomorrow because I just feel like, what are you going to take now? That is disgusting. So this is my bathroom. It stinks as well. Look at it. We don't need to be using this much plastic. I wish you could go through this. It would wind you up so much you would never ever not recycle plastic. 9 bags of plastic. Wow, the sun and the heater. What a cook. I think I'm ready to go home now. When everything gets stripped away from you, it's like you have no rights. I don't want to sleep in the lounge. So this is my new home. I haven't really got any food. And to be honest, I just want it to be over. So I've just got back to my bedroom and found this. I cannot live like this. My first thing is literally get me out that door. That's all I'm thinking about is get me out of this place. It smells dirty. It's literally getting hotter by the minute. Let me out, let me out! It's not until today that I actually realised the severity of this situation. Every single day, obviously, I've been able to adapt and move rooms and clean it up. But today, I'm stuck here, the door's locked, I have no water, I have no food. There's literally nothing I can do.
Yes. So
Interesting. If we keep this in our mind, we will all stop anything to do where we don't recycle. Very, very important.
yes, let me start sharing the screen again for the rest of the presentation.
Okay.
Okay, let me just... You can see the screen again?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let me just start again. Presentation. Actually, now the next slide would be open for question and answer. I think then we can go the list which I sent back to you.
Sure. Like these questions have come from the public or the people who are there at the seminar and who may not have been able to, present the question in the chat. But since they have
Yes.
pre-sent it to us, we can present it to you.
Yes, please.
The first one being practical solutions for day-to-day life for avoiding usage of plastic. What
Yes.
do you think of that?
Yeah, and as I said, it's all actually in our hand. And just to rephrase what I put in writing there, we need to understand that everything what is single use can be easily avoided, because when we go shopping, we have certain things in our mind. We take our wallet, we wear our pants, we wear our jacket and these things. But if we go shopping, we need to consider, okay, we go shopping, which means we need bags. So why not everyone, but almost, let's say 95% of the population, when they go for shopping, they don't take their own bags with them, which for me is not understandable. And this is a very easy task to do. I keep always, let's say, 5 bags in my car, the reusable ones, and 5 bags I have at home. So it's a kind of mini circular economy. I don't take any kind of plastic bag from the supermarket because I don't need, and I need to avoid what this waste coming into my life and make me responsible for it and guilty for it. The second is, I can always buy loose fruits. There's loose fruits in the supermarkets as well. Okay, bring again your own reusable thin bags with you, or even the containers and these things. Put the fruits on the tray, let them scale it, and give the sticker only. You don't need, and sometimes when I go to the supermarket, I see people that have already maybe 30 or 40 bags in their trolley. Plus, when they go out, they get the plastic bag inside another plastic bags. And this is now my question to the audience again. What do you think here in Bahrain, every year, how many plastic bags are used or thrown away? You can just use the chat. How many plastic bags are thrown or used here in Bahrain every year?
Well, there are no comments on that yet. Okay, we have
3 many million, yeah. 550,000, okay. The 50 is kind of correct. We're talking about 50 million. 50 million plastic bags every year are thrown. And now imagine if you just using your bags twice, you cut already 50%. If you use your bags 10 times, you cut down already 90%, which is so easy. And believe me, when people telling me, oh, inconvenience, you are carrying a mobile, which weight is like, say, 200 grams, and a watch, which weight is another 150 grams. Your wallet is 200 grams. So these bags, the weight is maybe only 2, 3, 4, 500 grams. And you carry it once in a while, and when you keep it in the car, it's really not a big deal. You can put 5 bags in one bag, so you carry them together. It's very, very easy to use always your own bag. Everybody knows BYOB, when you go to parties, bring your own booth. Okay, if you go shopping, BYOB, bring your own bags. This will make a big, big impact. It will be make a big, big impact.
Yeah.
As well for the vegetables, take the smaller bags. And for me, when I go actually to the central market here, I buy from the local farmers because they give me the loose fruits directly in my bag, and that's it. They will save money, and we will save the environment, and we will support the local community. So buying local, organic food, fruits and vegetables is a big, big asset, And we need to get away from our convenience. The same applies when you go outside. BYOB, bring your own bottle. If you go outside for dinner, now they're giving you everywhere the plastic cutlery. BYOC, bring your own cutlery. What is more safe than your own cutlery? If you take your own stainless steel cutlery, what is the weight? Another 200-300, let's say 500 grams. With all my respect, ladies, I don't know how much kg you're carrying in your handbags, but for sure there is space for one set of cutlery and for some bags, which can be folded very small as well. And the guys with the big wallets, put some extra with the cutlery and with the bags. Very, very easy, believe me. And you will do already a big, big impact for your pocket and as well for the environment, and you will help the company. So this is 3 options. BYOB, bring your own bags. BYOC, bring your own cutlery. And BYOB, bring your own bottle. These are 3 big topics which can be easily avoided.
Well, we've got a question on the chat.
Yes, please.
People are using polythene bags in garbage and trash bins at home. What do you suggest as an alternative?
Actually, at least this is the second use of this one. But if you are really mindful and minimize your waste, see, we were saying 3 kg average per person. This is also a kind of average maybe in the Middle East. And by the way, we are the worst one in the Middle East, unfortunately, when it comes to domestic house waste. If you reduce drastically your house waste, I have 3 kg maybe in 3 months. Not per day, not per week, not per month. Why? Because I'm very mindful when I go shopping. Because as said, the most waste is actually the packing waste. So if I buy loose fruits and loose vegetables, I get already rid of these things. Then I buy canned stuff, which cans can be recycled, which is aluminium or metal. So I reduce a lot of these kind of waste. Then I segregate as well my cardboard stuff and my plastic bottles. So the only remaining waste is very little. So I need maybe only one bag per 3 months. And we don't need actually in each room a waste bin. Why? The people cannot walk 10 meters to the kitchen. I have only 1 bin in my whole flat. So which means
interesting.
I'm in charge of my waste to carry it from A to B. And see, now when we are talking about this one, I just came from the Ras, right? I had the traffic light red. In front of me, one guy is stopping, obviously. Then I see the door opening and he's pouring out the tea with a tea bag and the cap down on the road. So I was honking. I went to him. I asked him, okay, what you are doing? Oh, what I do? I told him, this is your waste. Take it with you home. So he will think twice why I need to drink tea in a cup while driving. The people need to think about what is necessary for life. So to use only what is required. Same applies on the plates. Now Ramadan is coming. What will people will do? They will put the plate full of food. Even you don't eat everything, you make it full. Why? Put on the plate what you need. You know? So you avoid the food waste. In Germany, if you go to the buffet and you put food on your plate and you don't clear the plate, they will charge you extra because you are wasting food, which was seedlings, harvesting, watering, production, logistic, and bring it to the table and then you throw it? No way.
That's a very good thing you said about Germany, the practice that is done, which is very important. If we get it into our lives, it'll help us stop wasting food.
Yes,
which is
yes.
Very, very important.
So again, coming back, sorry, if you do like this, you will save money, right? Because you don't have to pay fine.
Correct. Let's go to another one.
Yes, please.
After recycling, what do you do with the remaining kind of plastic? Some things can't be recycled. Then what do you do with it?
Yes, this is the unfortunate thing what's in many places around the world, that not all the plastic can be recycled. And as I mentioned earlier, that only, let's say, 5% of the plastic in general worldwide is recycled. The thing is, first, we need to reduce it as much as possible. And to reduce or to change your mindset, to reduce it as much as possible, I encourage each and everyone, specifically here in Bahrain, to go to the landfill in Askar to see what's happening there. Anywhere in the world, just go to visit a landfill. You will be very embarrassed about the smell, how it will look like, how it's stinky and all this kind of stuff. But this is all remains from the human beings. This will be such an eye-opener. Or if you just Google landfills, or like the movie A Plastic Ocean or The Plastic Nile, which are two very dedicated movies when it comes to pollution worldwide, where you see how people are living surrounded by waste, with drinking from polluted water, which is really a necessity for us to stop polluting. So the reduction is the first mindset, and as said, the remaining, unfortunately, can only be delivered to the landfill. That's why in the first step, reduction of general waste is the biggest topic, where we need to stop the flow, the endless flow of plastic waste, or in general waste production of the human beings.
Mr. Kai, another question that has come right in the chat about the essential plastics being used in hospitals. How can hospitals reduce plastic waste and improve recycling?
Yeah, this is also a very good and very valid questions, because medical waste has usually a specific kind of treatment. Medical waste in general, specifically in more developed countries, are treated like toxic waste or contaminated waste, and they are literally need to be burned in a kind of autoclave, which usually, or an incinerator, which the hospitals in general have either a side, or each area has got this kind of incinerator, which is very important. One other aspect I like to mention, because in general in hospital as well, you have a lot of tools and equipment and scalpel, needles and these things. In general, they are made from stainless steel. And you know, even the plates are made from stainless steel and these things. Why? Because stainless steel is actually the most hygienic item, or most hygienic material you can use. Why this? In Germany, in Munich, I visited the hospital in 2018, aside with the IFAD exhibition, which is the world's largest waste and management exhibition, every 2 years happening in Munich. They have a special room where all this equipment is sterilized with a steam of 95 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is decontaminating any kind of tools which are used for surgery, the needle, scalpel for cutting. So sterilization by hot steam is the most effective one and the most sustainable one when it comes to medical equipment. And as said, the medical waste, they actually need to be collected separately. And I'm talking only about really the medical waste, like now the single-use face masks, the gloves, and these kind of stuff. I'm not talking about the cups, what the people using in the cafeteria or for the menu restaurant or the canteen or something like this. Only the contaminated medical waste need actually to be burned in an incinerator or autoclave.
I've got one last question.
Yes, please.
You know, we want your tips on waste segregation, as well as what are your thoughts on biodegradable plastic?
Yes, also a very valid question, and it's actually very easy to start with. You know, even when I did not have my, for example, compost barrels, I started segregating my compostable waste in a separate area outside in my balcony. And when you want to start in your household, the first thing is, believe me, remove all the waste bins in all the rooms. Just keep only one centralized collection in the kitchen, for example. Okay, this will be for the general waste. Then you have usually paper or carton, and carton and paper doesn't smell, correct? So you just can store it somehow, somewhere. You create a box or container or whatever. Be creative. You can do even a own carton box made, I don't know, in the afternoon, handcraft with your kids or some activities. And then you create 3 kind of boxes. One for the cardboard and the paper. And don't misguide the thermo paper, which you have from the receipts or the bank statement. Thermo paper cannot be recycled, because thermo paper is actually not really healthy and cannot be recycled. So cardboard, the cartons and the white paper from the printer and these things where you're writing notes or from your notebooks, you can put there. And even magazines, these are okay, but not thermo paper. So then you have another box, which is, for example, for the plastic bottles. The plastic bottles itself, what I'm doing, I'm just rinsing them. Okay, if there's water inside, the remaining water, if I have, because I don't have plastic bottles, but I'm collecting sometimes from outside when I find them. Okay, I remove the water, I give it to the plants. I remove the cap, I keep it separate in one bag or in the yogurt container, which I clean. Then I put there my caps and the ring from the bottles. Then I cut as well the label from the bottles, which is easy to be done. And I keep it in another, let's say, butter container or cheese container, which I get actually usually everything is free from the supermarket. They give us packing even we don't want it, because we want the cheese, we want the juice, but we get the bottle and the container free of charge. So we can make use of these things. So this is for the bottles in general. Then aluminium, also the aluminium container, you rinse them, and then they don't smell, you squeeze them, same like the bottles, you squeeze them to reduce the volume, and you have a third container or carton box where you collect all the aluminium. And then what I have, again, free of charge, for my ice cream box, the container 4 liter, I made some holes in the top, I keep it under the sink, and all my food waste goes there. And then outside on my balcony, I have got the compost barrel, which I got from Bahrain Compost. Okay, and now this one, because I'm reducing my food waste, I don't peel my carrots, I don't peel my cucumber, I don't peel my potato, I don't peel my, I don't know what, tomatoes. Whatever I can eat, I will eat. Okay, banana peels, I cannot, or eggshells, I cannot eat, or the lemon fruit peels, I cannot eat. But then I put it there, so I reduce already drastically my food remains. So my barrel, which is an 80-liter barrel, is now maybe a quarter full, which is the last remains for the last 4 or 5 years. Okay. So maybe every year, every 2 weeks, I have maybe not even 1 kg of food remains.
Oh, great.
And at the end, what I will do with this one, I can just put it either my flower pots, I can just throw it outside because it's soil. It becomes compost, good, nutritious soil for plants, for anything what I want even to grow by myself. Right. So in general, to compile this one, do at home, do like 4 compartments, 1 compartment for the cardboard, 1 compartment for plastic, separate the labels and the caps, and 1 compartment for the aluminium and the metal cans, and 1 box, or get a compost barrel, or if you have a garden, you dig a hole and or start doing a compost pile outside in your garden. And believe me, compost don't smell. Rottening is smelling. But composting means it breaks down with microbes to soil. And then you will be surprised, there's as well a nice smell in my barrel. And the people get shocked. They said, how come? No, because it's soil. And of course, you need to mix it with green cuttings, and see, lemon is a nice flavor. Imagine under your sink, you will smell, lemon smell. Very fantastic.
So, Mr. Kai, it was a very interesting meeting with you today. We would, at this point, request Mr. Mohammed, if you could if you could put the memento on the screen, please.
Just 1 second. I have 2 more slides, my dear.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then go ahead.
Yes. Because the thing is, we should never end the presentation with the Q&A session.
Okay.
We should always end the presentation with our message to the audience. And my message, always ask yourself why. Why I need this one? Why I'm doing X, Y, Z? Why I go shopping, and if I go shopping, why I don't take my bags with me? Because you as a human, you are responsible for anything you do. And don't shift the responsibility to the government, or there's no facilities and these things. You are the one who's buying, and you are the one who has the power, because you are the customer. If you just suddenly don't buy any more from a company because they have too much plastic wrapping, or the paper cups which are not recyclable and all this kind of stuff, then the company will change. If you still continue buying, because the companies, they want your best, which is your money. So if you stop buying, they will rethink. But if you continue buying, then they will not change. So you ask yourself always why. This is very important. And then, as a final message, be minimalistic, be eco-friendly, be conscious of what you are doing, be resourceful, be natural, be informed, be mindful, and it leads to for you to be healthy as well. Because anything non-organic is really, really toxic and not good for us, for yourself, for your body, for your mind, and not good for the environment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mr. Kai, the unfortunate issue about the camera where we could not see you, we have actually got somebody outside your door who is waiting to come in and put you on camera. So if you can open the door and invite him in.
Oh, let me switch to my mobile. We are always,
Okay.
So now you can see me here.
Yes, absolutely fine.
There's
okay, Mr. Kai.
Yes, please.
Now Mr. Mohammed, can you put the memento on screen so we can present it to Mr. Kai virtually? Mohammed? Mr. Kai, a little memento from us as a remembrance of today's webinar, and a lovely time and very informative time that we have had with you today.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate and the opportunity, and I hope, and any further question, we discussed earlier that we have a list of questions which will be then also circulated to the audience with the appropriate answers. So nobody will go away without fully knowledge.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I take this opportunity to first and foremost, formally on behalf of the Dawoodi Bohras of Bahrain, thank you, Mr. Kai, for being here today. I thank the dignitaries who have been present with us today, Bhai Saabs, Ben Saabs, and all the other Mumineen and all the audience who is present here. And in a very interactive, nice manner that we have done so on chat and been interactive in this whole event today. I hope we take back something, and we, as Rashida started, are ready to take our first baby step. Maybe just by this understanding, we will make a difference. Thank you, Mr. Kai, again. With this, Mr. Mohammed, I would like to get the Bohra community's message about recycling and environment to the forefront, that what our community is doing till now and what we are planning to do. And we hope as a community, we can make a difference. Mohammed, please put the video on.
Covering over 70% of the earth and supplying half its oxygen, oceans are among our planet's most valuable natural resources. Besides regulating the weather and providing livelihood, they are home to millions of diverse marine plants and animals. But under the beautiful surface of the ocean, the situation is very ugly. plastic pollution has choked our marine ecosystems, wildlife, and our own health. But it's not over yet. We still have a window of opportunity to turn things around.
Hi, I'm Afroz Shah. I'm a lawyer by profession, an ocean lover and child of environment. For the first time, visually, when I shifted to an apartment block on Warsaw. Warsaw Beach is a 3-kilometer beach. It was full of plastic. And mind you, the plastic pollution there was such that you could drown in it, 5.5 feet. And once all this lands into the belly of ocean, the ocean becomes sick and feels sick. Now, having known that plastic pollution is the problem and it is created by us, and I mean us, it means each one of us.
Hi, my name is Amatullah Motorwala. I'm from Mumbai. I'm here taking this initiative to help in this cleanup drive and first of all reduce the wastage of plastic and even help to nurture our Mother Earth for a healthy living and healthy environment and even save our planet for future.
The way the earth was created, the way the ocean was created, the way the marine species were created, they were all meant to coexist with each other. Ocean gives us life, oceans gives us lot. Me and my 84-year-old neighbor called Mr. Harbansh Mathur walked on that beach to clean it. I told myself that court orders or a government policy could do, you as an individual could do it. And mind you, the narrative in 21st century that all protection of environment or love for Mother Nature must be left to the government.
Being a doctor, it pains to see the Methi River in a very sick state, and you can understand that sickness to our nature is sickness to mankind.
So this journey started with interaction with citizens, with volunteers. In this journey, you meet individuals, you meet groups, you meet clans, you meet people who are part of different language, different religion, different caste. The Dawoodi Bohra communities took this opportunity and held my hand tight, and we started this journey. I had known them, I had read about them. They are very, very ecologically sensitive. Their love for nature is unprecedented, and this stems from their faith and belief that we exist as as a species on this planet with other species.
Plastic pollution today is a major factor that affects us and the generations to come. In line with that initiative, Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin has instructed, directed his family members, his community members, and the community at large keep a keen eye on the developments in plastic pollution issues. The Dawoodi Bohra community, as per the guidance of His Holiness, has stepped up to this challenge to beat plastic pollution once and for all. In Mumbai, for instance, community members from different areas in the city join weekly cleanup drives, and they have also started rejuvenating the Methi River.
We have plastic all around us, on beaches, on land, on everywhere, but yet we choose to ignore it.
Hi, my name is Adam. I'm from Al Jamia to Safia Academy in Marol, and I'm currently sitting at the banks of the Methi River. Me and my friends come here every week, and we've been collecting all the trash that appears in the river, and we've also been going towards the locals and collecting the plastic waste from them. First, we teach them how to segregate the plastic waste from their normal wet waste, and then after that, we collect the plastic waste from them. It shows that how much plastic we use every day in our daily lives, and it shows how much of it, like every day, if you're collecting one bag, then imagine how much you're getting in the entire year.
It's really sad to see how much plastic has taken over our society. It's all around us. You wouldn't believe how little time it takes to fill an entire bag full of plastic. That's why in our academy, many measures have been taken to reduce plastic usage. Plastic cups are never used and the dining mat is always made of cloth. We have done away with single-use disposables. Apart from that, in our society, we have 2 plastic segregation bins where community members can place their plastic waste, which is collected at the end of the week by recyclers. Furthermore, we are visiting our community members door to door to educate them on how to segregate the plastic waste from their wet waste. We teach them how to use the bins so that they can recycle the plastic waste back into the economy.
We're actually turning the tide, and turning the tide against plastic pollution, turning the tide against being disconnected with the nature, turning the tide being disconnected with the marine species, turning the tide against being disconnected against the ocean.
Thank you very much. Can I request everybody to put on their cameras for us to take a screenshot of your attendance today? While we are at it, please put on your cameras. While we are at it, I remind everybody, each of us has a Mr. Afroz Shah in him. Each of us has a Mr. Kai in him. Each of us, as Mola says, has an environmentally sound Bohra member in him. We just need to awaken them, and we will be able to beat any plastic pollution that we create. We may use reusable plastic, but as Mr. Kai said today, at least a second time reuse, at least a third time reuse. That 50 million tons of plastic waste will come down by 1/10 if you use that plastic bag 10 times. Let's join and do it. Can we take the picture, the screenshot as soon as possible so that Mr. Kai, thank you, and we can say good evening to everybody.
Thank you.
Mohammed, once we are done, please let me know so that we can adjourn the meeting.
Oh.
We are done. We are done.
Done. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here, and do your part and get rid of the plastic that you can. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kai. It was a wonderful presentation.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you.